Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Monday, April 13th, 2026, 9:07 p.m. In this video, I'm going to be going over what I have on my screen right here, the ES futures, the S&P, Amazon, Google, Netflix, and I'm going to be comparing XLF and XLE, and then another thing on the Cycles app, looking at smart money. Okay, so I'll actually just start with the smart money thing first. So the first time I looked at this was over the weekend, and there's a pretty good dominant cycle of 180 days, right? Okay, and that makes a trough at the end of May, and then there's a 70-day cycle that isn't bad as well that makes a trough end of July. So still some time away, right? We can composite them together, and it's still around like the end of July. Um, Now it is getting an exhaustion point which is here in green, right? It did confirm. So there could be a push up here on the smart money. And looking at the cyclic momentum here, it's pretty deep red. So it looks like there's some room for this to run a little bit right to the upside. It's in towards a neutral point here at 68. But I wouldn't be surprised if there would be more uh, sideways or somewhere downside on smart money going into July, which is still few months away, right? So just gonna have to keep an eye on this, but it's an interesting tool or indicator. Now I'm gonna get into big thing here, the ES. So SPY. I'm gonna get into the regular chart here in a second. Just oops, sorry about that. Want to get into the cycles app first, right? The tool. So this is an 80-day cycle, which is pretty solid. It's very dominant for the ES, and really across the board on a lot of assets. But here we are. So cyclic momentum is pretty high, right? It's pretty deep in the green. Okay, nothing wrong with that. Just shows the strength of this move. And cyclic RSI broke back inside the channel, which is a great sign, right? Because that just gives these two things happening here, the cyclic RSI going back inside the channel, cyclic momentum, very good in the green, coming off of an 80-day trough here, right, from the end of March. That gives very good confirmation. Nothing's 100%, but it gives good confirmation in a sense, right? That this is an 80-day trough, and there's a good chance it heads higher into the end of May, towards the end of May. Okay. And then you pair this with the 40-day FOD, since it's an 80-day cycle, half of it, 40 days, so 40-day FOD. ES did confirm a green dot here crossing over the 40-day FOD, which is very bullish. Okay. As long as it holds above the 40-day FOD now, in my opinion, new all-time highs are on the way. It's not even that far, so it's not that crazy of a call. Um, but yeah, it's so close. But those three things there alone give good evidence that there's very strong momentum right now, and don't be surprised of new all-time highs going into you know even the end of this month and into May. Right? Obviously, there'll be stops along the way, little pullbacks, but very strong move here. 48 FLD also makes a low, right, when this 80-day cycle makes a peak. So end of May is going to be pretty important around the 22nd. Okay. So that's ES. Save this. Okay. Really quick on the VIX. It's breaking under this uptrend line here that it's been in since, December, January. Um, yeah, that's also very nice there too. Um, I don't need to get into Bitcoin. I did a video on Bitcoin yesterday. Okay, so ES futures here on the daily chart. downtrend line here in black, it closed above. Okay, so another sign that the S&P broke out, right? Yeah, it's testing a little bit of resistance here around the 6,900, 6,928. Um, like, it's completely normal to have little pullbacks along the way. Um, yeah, pretty good move so far. I'm curious how the 4 hour looks. Yeah, just riding the EMAs. The 9 in blue, 21 in black, and the 50 in gray. Yeah, S&P looks very solid. I'm curious about a weekly. And those are some nice candles on the weekly. And weekly momentum is up in stochastic RSI as well. And above all, moving average. They're pointed up. The trend is your friend until the very end. There's definitely ain't a downtrend anymore. I mean, there's always a possibility it rolls over, but yeah, no. The 2 week is printing a green dot here in stochastics, trying to cross VWAP as well, and above all the moving averages in the 2 week. S&P looks very good. Um, yeah, another thing too, like not talking about the charts. Um, there's been a lot of news, right? Especially over the weekend. Bad news, like whatever with the war, deals not going through, or whatever the heck it is with oil and all that war stuff. I, none of that stuff is good. I'm not trying to downplay it or anything, but just strictly talking about the market here. Okay, just for what it is. That stuff can't keep the market down, right? Like it used to. Um, that should be saying something to you in itself, right? The market not going down on bad news, essentially. It actually goes up on bad news. So, or it's been going up on bad news, right? So that should be something in itself, right? And it seems like the crowded trade is everybody trying to short still. People just think it's going to roll over because of this, that, and the third. I've always said that the news doesn't matter. Okay, headlines don't matter. I'm not even. Most of the time, I'll even stick to the thing that fundamentals half the time don't even matter either. So stick to the charts. They're going to tell you the story. Okay, and the story right now, right between the lines, I guess if you want to say, because a lot of people don't believe in technical analysis or respect it. Um, this there's high probability that ES has broken out and it's on its way to new highs eventually here. Um, uh, but time will tell. Let's see. I if I'm a betting man, right? I have made my longs along the way, so I have bet on this. I guess if you want to say bet, I don't like to say that. Now I'm on the long side of the market, right? And we can talk about supports. Like forget about the EMAs for a second. If this is a short-term little high here, just pull a fib. 786 is aggressive support, and I'll get into that in a second. Actually, 6,800, and then going to pocket support in the lower 67s. Um, if that even happens, I would not be. I wouldn't long here, but I also wouldn't short here. Just be patient if you're looking for a trade on the ES. But the picture is bullish. So actually, yesterday, right, or yeah, Sunday into Monday, with that little retrace I had in the nighttime. Let me fix my screen. If you pulled a Fibonacci here from this high, the Friday high to the March low, right? You got a great retrace into the 786. Great bounce, obviously, right? Um, and this isn't hindsight. For me, it's not hindsight. I did take a long. Uh, so, in strong uptrends, 786 is typically pretty decent support, and as well as the golden pocket. especially on first time touches. You can usually get at least scalps, in my experience. Um, yeah, but pullbacks into 4 hour moving averages, right? The 21 and the 50, especially. Um, the nine's decent, but 21 and 50 are pretty good. Uh, it'll probably coincide with the daily sometimes too, the EMAs for pullback longs into pullbacks, right? Or did I say that right? Um, yeah, I'm sure you understand what I mean. So that's the S&P, very strong, right? Another thing here that is very interesting, and I really like it, um, and I also took action on this as well. So on the left side is XLF, right, the financials ETF, and on the right side is XLE, the energy ETF. First things first, on the weekly indicator here, market cipher B, then in black is the stochastic RSI. On XLF, it did confirm a green dot on April 6th, and stochastic is pushing up, right? So momentum is pointing to the upside, and it's the opposite on XLE, right? Okay, so let's just put away the indicators really quick. XLF on the left has a weekly falling wedge, and today it's continuing. It looks like it's breaking out here. Um, that's a very good sign that potential reversal is coming in on XLF. And then on XLE, it's breaking down on the weekly from this upwards trend line that's been in since December, right? A very, pretty much almost parabolic uptrend that's been in since that time. All right, so that's pretty significant. It looks to me like rotation's happening, all right, from energy into other sectors. So another sign of why the market is, you know, stronger currently, right? Um, very simple look here. Um, just take it for what it is. All right. Let me get into Amazon. All right. So Amazon here on the daily is trying to break out of this downward trend line here. Right. Very strong momentum here as well on Amazon. It's approaching this key level here, 242. Um, I would expect there to be some sort of resistance here soon, getting in this area, 240s. But it doesn't have to. It is on the stronger side. If you zoom out here, going to weekly, all right, that is a very strong weekly candle there, and weekly momentum is up. Stochastic and market cipher B momentum waves in blue. So Amazon looks pretty strong. Um, it's in a strong position. Uh, Short term, I wouldn't be surprised for some resistance. I actually sold my last call option on it today. Um, maybe a little early, but doesn't matter. I got a good chunk of this move from back here, and similar to S&P, Google, Amazon, I'm going to go into Netflix too, but Amazon, Google, they they were making cycle troughs as well around the same time period, which isn't surprising. They're all going to pretty much follow each other. So I'm not going to go really too much into the Cycles app on these. It'll just be too long of a video, and I don't want it to be long today. So here, yeah, Amazon. If again, this is what I would do. Let's say today was a little high or the Friday high. I would take a Fibonacci like this and just wait for a pullback, right? To long into 786 or golden pocket, and also I would watch for the moving averages on the daily, um, possibly 4 hour. But right now it's a bit extended, so I'd probably wait for the daily 9 at least to catch up. And if the 9 matches up with a 786 or golden pocket support, there's a pretty good shot for at least some sort of reaction, for a scalp or maybe a little swing trade as well. So that's how I'm looking at Amazon right now. I'm more bullish. I'm out of my position currently. I'm waiting to get back in eventually. So just patience, right? Google. So I'm in my Google position. I haven't sold it yet. I would like I would look I am looking to sell it soon though if it does hit hit a target. But right here in green is Fibonacci support, right from this high of the 8th down to the low of March 30th. Fibonacci support, it's already been tagged once, so it doesn't have to tag it again. Moving averages are catching up here, and if you go to, let's say, a 4 hour time frame, there's a bit there's head and shoulders here, and it looks like it could be trying to break out of it, right? It caught up, the EMA's caught up on the 4 hour time frame as well. So, yeah, and right here is Fibonacci resistance from the low to the high, like the March high to the all-time high, or the March low to the all-time high. Sorry, it is in this resistance zone. So if it hits around 330 soon, I would expect some short-term resistance. It doesn't have to. And just like Amazon, whenever some sort of high is put in, I would put a fib on. So go from the high to a low and watch for pullbacks in the 7-8 sector golden pocket. 50% is there too, but usually in stronger uptrends on stocks, especially strong equities or stocks, 786 and golden pocket tend to be more of the places they tend to bounce. And you pair that with some moving averages on a daily time frame, it's a pretty solid strategy and very simple. So yeah, bullish, still in position. I'm looking to sell it soon personally. Would like to wait to enter on a pullback potentially, right? And also, none of this is financial advice in this video. Just going over what I'm thinking, what I'm seeing. So yeah, going to the weekly time frame really quick for Google. Above all key moving averages, right? Broke out of this falling wedge as well in the weekly, engulfed, right? Engulfing as well. Very quick, nice move. Momentum obviously is up, and the weekly momentum isn't even positive yet as well. If there's some continued upside over this week, it would definitely go positive, but it's not even positive yet, and it's been having this move on Google. So Google is in a very strong position. Um, yeah, it's very strong. All right, so that's Google. JP Morgan really quick. So XLF, right, breaking out on the weekly time frame of this pattern. And you go look at JP Morgan, I think it's like their second biggest holding in that ETF. Um, it's above the 50% of this correction down, right? It's in the upper side of this range, so maybe some sort of resistance soon. Um, yeah, but broke out from this downward trend line. It is strong, but approaching some sort of resistance zone soon. I'm out of my position as of today, from these lows over here. Um, JP Morgan was also making cycle troughs as well, similar to S&P, Amazon, Google. They all follow um, pretty similarly to each other. So I am bullish, in the weeks to come. Just wait. I'm waiting for slight pullback into some support to relong again. Um, yeah. So that's the daily time frame. Weekly, similar to Google and Amazon again, and S&P. Very strong couple of weeks here. Above all, rising moving averages and momentum is bullish. Um, so very positive there. And I think the last one is Netflix. So Netflix here, I actually sold like 90% of my position today. I have a couple more contracts left, but I'm looking to sell it, tomorrow or as soon as I can. Because yeah, I got a good chunk of this move from this low and as well from this low too. The February low hit the 50% from the all-time high to the 22 low, 22 yeah, low price. Hit the 50% of that. And it had a very good strong bounce off of it. As of right now, this could be classified as a three-wave move up. I'm not an Elliott wave guy, but I for sure know for a fact that that is currently three waves. One, two, three. So if anything's that's corrective, coming into a 50% level from the all-time high to this February low, right? And there's some upwards resistance here too, as well. So I am more bullish on Amazon. I like the 300-day cycle on it into what I think it's August, September. Um, but there will be pullbacks along the way, and I'm a trader. Be a trader, not a gambler. So I want to take my profits, realize them, and potentially just wait it out. There's always an opportunity every day, every week, every month in the market. Okay, don't need to go crazy. Yeah, it's above rising the moving averages on the weekly as well. At least the 9, 21, and 50. I haven't. I don't really use the 200 much, but it looks like a three-wave move up into some resistance here soon on Netflix. So maybe slows down a little bit soon. Not too sure here, but I definitely wouldn't long it here if I wasn't long already. Right. And I don't want to sound like a perma bull, but you know, on the ES, right, bearish case scenario, um, one sign would be daily closes back under this trend line, and then really going back under the 9 and 21 moving averages, so the blue and the black, because then momentum would start creeping down, the moving averages would start creeping down. That would not look good at all to me. So that's the bearish case, right? If that were to happen, but as of right now, it's well above that. Um, so I'm on the bullish camp, right? If that doesn't happen, I'll stay on the bullish camp, right? And you can use that same thing on Amazon, Google, right? JP Morgan, right? If the price action starts coming down below the 9 and 21 daily moving averages, that's when, it's a little more shaky. It doesn't look as good, right? That's the bearish case scenario to me. But if that doesn't happen, then I assume price is still in an uptrend. So yeah, just keep it simple. No need to go crazy. Don't pay attention to news headlines or whatever the heck it is. All right, just look at the chart. That's the true data. So yeah. All right. Thank you everybody for tuning in, watching this video. If you watched it then, thank you very much. Peace out. See you in the next one.